What's up, NBA fans? What's up, all sports fans? This your boy JB, host of the Behind the Bench Podcast Network and channel. Just want to give a shout out to the rest of the crew. I'm talking about Shad, Kelvin, and Jermaine. For everyone who's tuning in, I hope that you support Behind the Bench, become a subscriber, and help make this show the best that it can be. Now, I want to focus on something taking place in the NBA that I think is long overdue, and it's refreshing to see once again. And that's simply getting back to basics of team building. You know, we've been so prone to watching superstars join forces over the past 14 years that we've been given the impression that practice of doing so is commonplace or normal, and it's not, and it's never been. But we see signs, and we have seen moments to indicate that this era of superstars joining forces is coming to an end, and I'm so forward looking to that. And then teams that's been struggling for years, well, they are on the up and up. And a perfect example is the Sacramento Kings. Prior to last season, the Sacramento Kings had not reached the playoffs since like 2005. And I was like during the Chris Webber, Mike Bibby, Peja Stojakovic, Doug Christie years. 2005. But they settled down, and I believe that a lot of these teams, like the Sacramento Kings, small market teams, they have studied and took note of what a lot of these large market teams have done, trying to build teams by way of multiple superstars joining forces. And as we've seen, that's not a guarantee. That is not a guarantee at all. And the reason that it's becoming less successful is because more and more teams are building the right way rather than trying to duplicate that model, because it doesn't last long. So when I bring up the Sacramento Kings, this is a team that finished third seed in the Western Conference. I believe they won something like 49 games, 48 games. And they extended the Golden State Warriors to 7 games in their first round series. 7 games. And it took a otherworldly performance by Steph Curry, probably the greatest playoff game he's ever had outside of the finals. He had to score 50 points for Golden State to prevail and beat Sacramento. And remember, Sacramento took an early 2-0 lead in their series, so they legit. But a big reason why they finished the season as the third seed in the West, a big reason why they won 48, 49 games this year, a big reason why Sacramento had a #1 rated offense in basketball is because of this guy right here. Drafted out of the University of Iowa, Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray had an outstanding rookie season, averaging about 12.5, 13 points a game. And he played 2 years in college. And if fans notice what teams are starting to do, they drafted players with more experience in college, more college experience. And this is getting back to basics, because this was commonplace 70s, 80s, and 90s, especially the 80s and 90s, where after the NBA-ABA merger of 1976, most players entering the pros, they had to complete on average 3 years of college, right? And the NBA started to invite high school players to enter the pro ranks, and it began to exacerbate by the late 90s. And as a result, by the time the 2000s start, you saw a regression in offensive skill. Because the players who were coming in, they had all the athletic ability in the world. They could jump out the gym, but they were not mature players. So teams are now drafting players. They may not have the flashy name or the popularity, but they're the right player to draft for their team. And Keegan Murray was the perfect player to draft to play alongside De'Aaron Fox, who's been with the team since 2017, 2018 season. And when you draft, fans have got to, well, not fans, but the talking heads, the sports media, the people who cover the NBA, the most basic principle of team building in any sport, any professional sports league, is through the draft. Right? Okay, every year they have a special. For the NFL draft, is like an extravaganza, right? It's like a major event, just like the NBA draft, right? You don't have that same anticipation or coverage in terms of an annual telecast for free agency. So the draft is always the most basic, fundamental aspect of team building. Then from there, of course, you make key trades and you sign key free agents when needed. But it's always going to be the draft. If it ever gets to the point where free agency is the primary tool, then sports leagues are in trouble. So I'm just trying to provide a framework as to why this formula is working. And other teams are drafting in the same manner. And a lot of small market teams are leading the march in this effort. Not the large market teams, but the small market teams. So you got a Keegan Murray, he come in, he fit in like a glove, man. You know what I'm saying? So you figure his sophomore year or his second year coming up, you know, I don't see why he would not take another step and get better and improve and increase his scoring average to where maybe he averages about 17 a game. You know what I'm saying? So Sacramento, I'll put it this way. When they drafted Keegan Murray, and then they this was after trading for Domantas Sabonis last year, right? But the key was drafting, right? And they made another key draft too, to help solidify their roster. And then they signed Malik Monk in free agency. You see? So it's a combination of draft, making a key trade the previous year, and then signing someone in free agency. It's a combination. So therefore, when they got Keegan Murray, I was like, oh, Sacramento going to the playoffs. Now, I didn't think they was going to finish with the number 3 seed, but they exceeded expectations. But I don't see them, I don't believe what they did last year was a fluke in terms of making the playoffs. So now they have something going for themselves where they can move forward in the future, and you never know what it may turn into. And then it comes down to whoever's the best is the best. But yeah, Keegan Murray, man, he the real deal. He the real deal. He reminds me a little bit of someone like a Reggie Miller prototype. Reggie Miller prototype at the 2 guard. That's who he kind of reminds me of starting out, you know, as a rookie. You know what I'm saying? Because he can shoot. You know what I'm saying? So it stands to reason that he's going to improve on that and build on that. And I see Sacramento pretty much, you know, playing at the same level this year. Now, will they win 50 games this year? I mean, it remains to be seen. But, you know, they legitimate. Anytime you, you know, force the defending champions to beat you in 7 games, that means you own to something. That means you own to something. So I just want to drop that real quick, man. Sacramento, man, you know, they're doing good things for themselves, and they got a heck of a player, man, to continue to move forward with in Keegan Murray. So I just want to drop that. Until next time, this is JB with BTB Behind the Bench.